To the 2023 World Series of Beep Baseball, hosted by Visit Norman and sanctioned by the National Beep Baseball Association. Day 3 continues. We've had a chance to catch our breath after that scintillating, thrilling 20-19 game we just called between the Jets and the Thunder. And now we are into the elimination side of the bracket. We've been calling winners games up until now. We're Dave Benny and Rosina Foster back with you. And we have the Austin Blackhawks and the Boston Renegades, two teams that we've already seen once on our game of the day. Now they meet in a win-or-go-home matchup. The loser of this game will be playing for placement. The winner of this game will move on and keep trying to play their way back toward the championship game. They've done the coin flip, Rosina. They're getting ready to go here on Field 2.
So we've just had the coin toss over here going on, or getting ready for the coin toss up at home plate between the Blackhawks and the Renegades. Blackhawks are wearing their gray jerseys, again with the black and red words on the front, Austin Blackhawks, and with a big hawk on the front, spread eagle front pictured with a beat ball clutched in its talons. Boston Renegades still wearing their navy jerseys with the bat across the front that says Renegades across the bat with the word Boston up above, and the O in Boston is a beat ball with a ball field behind it. We are running a little behind from all our games that we're still trying to play catch up from yesterday, but they are getting ready for that coin toss. And I have heard rumors, now I don't want to confirm anything or jump the gun, that there might be a possibility that Joe Mack will be back in this game.
He was out there warming up pre-game, so it is possible. We could see Joe McCormick. Of course, he was held out of the Comets game yesterday that we called here on our game of the day, here at Field 2 at Gillis Ruther Soccer Complex in Norman, Oklahoma. And the Renegades didn't need Joe Mack for that game, though, as they defeated the Comets. Then they went on and they lost to the Indy Edge, and then won one game to play their way back to get into this game. The Austin Blackhawks were upset yesterday by the 10-seed New Jersey Titans, and they have played their way back. And so now these teams are meeting here, each with a loss in double elimination play.
Okay, so we do have a 7-minute call from our ump before we take game on this. I did hear the Boston Renegades say they are waiving the blindfold check. I did not hear on the Blackhawks side. I'm assuming that they probably are as well. Both teams were in pretty good humor with one another, laughing and joking as they were making those decisions. Still trying to hear who won the coin toss.
I think it's almost certain that both teams will waive the blindfold check, if for no other reason than that we are still on that 2-hour and 15-minute time limit. That did not come into play with our semifinal game that we just called. They got that game in 6, and it ended in a walk-off. But it did come into play in the other semifinal game. The Philly Fire were trailing 16-14 to the Edge after 4 innings when they had to call that. So the Edge have moved on. The Jets have moved on. They will play each other tomorrow at 11:30. Everybody else is playing to stay in the fight. There are only 2 teams now without a loss. Everybody else has lost 1, including these 2 that we are about to see coming up. We got an interesting pitching matchup here between Ron Cochran and Molly Fleming, and we've got an interesting coaching matchup between Rob Weisman and Jonathan Fleming, the consensus coach of the year last year. He's led the Blackhawks to a 3rd-place finish each of the last 2 seasons.
So we do have the Blackhawks on our left third base side. They're all taking a knee in a huddle outside their bench. And then we have the Renegades on our right on the first base side as they're all setting up their final positioning. I think we're still waiting also to get lineups from both teams to the official scorekeeper. So they're going to have to hurry it up here because it's probably down to the 5 minutes now from what was originally when our ump gave us 7-minute call from game time. I want to say thank you to all our volunteers, any of our sponsors, and everybody who is making this week's World Series possible. You hear a lot of loud noise over there from the Blackhawks. They sound like they are pumped and ready to go.
Whoop it up, Blackhawks. They are revving it up over on the third base sideline. The Blackhawks finished third in last year's World Series. The Renegades finished fifth. And the consequence of this game is that one of these two teams will finish far below that this year. I believe the team that loses this game can finish no higher than ninth.
See, now you can start to hear the noise over there from the Renegades, led by Rob Diaz, trying to psych his team up, beat the Blackouts out for noise and volume. So I think they might have edged him out just a little, just in volume. Maybe not enthusiasm, but definitely in volume.
Well, Boston and Austin have similar-sized rosters, and they both play a similar style of game. I am just going to speculate that we will not see quite as many runs in this game as we did in our last game. This is going to be more of a defensive struggle, and whoever can make the most plays is going to win the game. I think it's going to be similar to what we saw with Boston and Chicago. The more runs that are scored in this game, though, I think favors Boston, because I think Boston has a little bit stronger lineup, but Austin Blackhawks always play pesky defense.
Definitely going to be another grit game that no matter their ranking, I'm very excited to see this competition between these two. It's going to be an interesting, again, very interesting game, pretty level paced, I think, and just have to see who's going to dig in a little harder.
It is a little bit of a change-up because now, like I said, we're talking back against the wall. They said the teams we've covered before have not had a loss. Now we are into the other side of the bracket, and we're going to see who has the staying power. It's survive and advance time at the World Series of Beat Baseball here in Norman.
Definitely a difference when you're fighting just to stay alive.
Both
it's one thing staying alive in the middle of a game, but when you start off that way and you know that it's do or die.
Both of these teams have plenty of experience in this type of situation. The Boston Renegades have finished in the top 6 every year since 2015, and the Austin Blackhawks, no matter who's on their roster, are typically always right there in these Thursday and Friday games, so no shortage of experience on either side.
A few last-minute instructions from their coaches there, it looks like, on the Boston Renegade side. Rob going over with his players, pointing them out, giving instructions. Are all listening attentively. You can see their heads nodding as they're agreeing, making up their game plan for this game. You don't see quite as much of that in the Blackhawks. They either already hashed this out and figured out what they're going to do, or they're sitting a little more comfortably.
The wind has died down a little bit from earlier, but the heat is on. It is getting hot out, and between games I was checking on it a little bit. They are watching the situation closely, hoping that we don't get back into that danger zone where they have to suspend play, but there is a backup plan if that happens, to get some beat ball in under the lights tonight if necessary.
Hoping that will not be necessary, so people get a longer rest up tonight, but at least we have that plan in motion and set, so there will be no surprises. We'll be prepared no matter what happens to just roll with it and take off.
But there is the 2-hour and 15-minute time limit, so they're still playing under that today, and then you're going to see how it goes. I doubt they're going to keep that tomorrow as long as they can stay on schedule today.
Nice hard fields, as we've said all week. These balls are really moving quickly. They're bouncing hard. So people are going to have to be on their toes listening, not just for that initial drop, but where it's going to go afterwards. A little bit last-minute exercising over here on the Renegade side. A couple calisthenics, some stretches across the field, trying to stay limber. We only have probably about a minute and a half left now before we start.
Yeah, they're going to call these teams out any second here.
Okay, well, they're getting ready to start on the game here.
Thanks to the City of Norman and Visit Norman for providing volunteers and logistical support here at Gillis Rother Soccer Complex, in conjunction with our tournament committee chaired by Cassie Hopkins, our tournament director and first vice president.
All right, here we go.
So we've had the here we go call, and volunteers are starting to head out to their positions on the field. They've already received instruction from the umpire for our game.
All right, substitutions.
And it looks like
Already, we
Boston
got
is
Rob Weissman going to keep the scorekeeper busy.
Boston is headed out into the field, so they will be the home team as they start to make their way. Drew Cook.
Zuccarello's in for Ivan Rodriguez in the 6-hole. McCormick's in for Melissa Waite in the 3-hole.
All right, so plug McCormick in the 3 and plug Zuccarello in the 6.
So 3 and 6. We have those done. He's going to have Darius will be up for the Blackhawks first.
Blackhawks are visiting and the Renegades are at home for this game.
Which does give the Boston that last bat advantage.
We sit back and enjoy, folks. We've seen some really good beat ball already this morning and throughout the week. We're about to see some more elimination game. Austin and Boston.
Nice little rhymey chant there.
And as far as I know, these teams have not met yet this year at all. They're from opposite, obviously, parts of the country.
Chant out there for the defense. I believe they are now all set and ready.
In their game against Oklahoma, he is one of their faster, if not their fastest, base runners.
He definitely put the speed on. Got a ball out to Molly, the pitcher.
Molly, one of a couple of female pitchers starting in this league.
Got first.
And she is certainly the most accomplished. Here we go, Rosina.
Got our
Let's
full
play some
helmet
ball.
on and ready for this first pitch of this game. And it's a little bit under his high swing. It's got to be hot out there for the Blackhawks in their black.
Yeah, they're from Austin, Texas. They're used to it.
And again, just underneath the swing. Darius kind of walking off away from the plate. He's coming back up slowly. A couple of little gentle swings across and ready for the pitch. And a solid out into center field. It went right past Sean Devonish. And okay, he is going to be safe. That is going to be a run for the Blackhawks.
Nice hit and run right up the middle. Good start for Austin.
Darius getting it done. That's going to bring Daniel Brock up to bat with his broccoli and cheese face mask.
You see
Last minute instruction, they adjusting Rob Diaz over just a hair.
They moved Brock up to the 2 spot in the order. That's generally been Mike Finn's spot in the batting order.
Thank you. Here we go.
And way underneath the swing on that one. Deep exhale by Brock. And again, right underneath the swing.
She feels like she's got him now. If you missed our broadcast the other day, Daniel Brock's brother just got drafted by the Texas Rangers out of Louisiana Lafayette University. He was a Ragin' Cajun.
And again, right underneath the swing. Head down there a little for Brock. They're going to have to make some contact here.
3 strikes now. You get 4.
And under, that's going to be the first strikeout of the game. I believe this is going to bring up Mariano.
Mariano Reynoso. So a couple of these have moved up a little bit here in the batting order. I'm going to have to take a guess. Mike Finn's not in the batting order here.
No, I believe Mike Finn will be next.
Oh, they dropped him.
Moved him around.
They dropped him all the way down to 4. I don't know that I've ever seen Mike Finn bat behind Mariano. We'll see how this works. Mariano in the 3 spot here. That's interesting.
Underneath the swing.
That's interesting, but if you remember a couple days ago, Mike Finn was really struggling to make contact, something we hadn't seen. I think he struck out 3 or 4 times, so maybe that's why they moved him down and moved Mariano and Daniel Brock up.
It's going to be a nice bouncing grounder right into center. It's Sean Devenish. It bounced over his knees, though. Shane trying to make it up, but he is going to be safe, giving another run to the Blackhawks.
I thought Devenish was going to get that one there, and they're going up the middle here early. They've done it twice with success.
There's not much behind him. He's having to have people run over from either side, and just, again, the fields are still hard. They're bouncing a lot. And this is going to bring Mike Finn up, doing his little wiggle dance there at the plate as he waits for Molly. We're also having to put back together third base as it was completely taken off into 2 pieces. It's being squished back into its base.
2 in, 1 out, top of the first, just getting started. Austin Blackhawks and Boston Renegades in an elimination game.
Mike patiently waiting at home plate, just lightly rocking back and forth, foot to foot.
Thank you. Go. Here we go.
And that one's going to be high and on the outside of his swing. And again, still high and on the outside. A little bit, I might be tired.
It's tough when you have to try to play your way back.
We got timeout from the loud vehicle behind us on the road.
Well, that came up quick, and so did the timeout. They called it right away. Good job by Boston. You wouldn't have wanted to try to play through that, although it didn't last long. Now we're ready.
Field is now ready. And underneath. We have a check out here going on in the field. Ump is headed out into the field. He's checking with the spotter for the Renegades. Pointing at something at the center, some kind of question going on.
Renegade spotters listed Brian Grillo and Limacek.
Ump is headed back in now. Should be ready.
Here we go.
Taking the pass.
Ooh. 3. That's the first pass ball I've seen. Let's see what happens now. They'll take when Molly wants them to. They generally don't. But
she had planned that one.
Yeah, she told him to do that.
And that's going to be right up over the bat, and that will be an out.
So Mike Finn's struggles continue. 2 outs, 2 in.
We're just going to have our Andrew up to bat.
Drew Burnett. He's caught a double play ball this week. One of a couple that have been caught this week. He's gotten one. Casey Kraus from the Fire got one. As far as I know, those are the two that have been recorded so far this week.
Our base check for first and third. Andrew getting a good grip on the bat.
Here we go. Set.
And just barely under his bat. Nice, good swing.
Here we go. Set. All right.
Definitely underneath the bat. I've seen a lot of low pitches on this.
Yeah, you wonder if that's Molly or if they're raising their swings because of some fatigue. Could be either.
Could be a little both.
Could be a little of both, although this is consistent enough that my sense is it's either one or the other. Either her pitches are dropping and not making it through the way she wants them to, or these guys are just swinging higher.
Here we go. Set.
And it's again underneath the swing.
And he was late. And that's the inning. 2 in. And the Renegades will come to bat at the bottom of the first, trailing 2-0.
He's ready for the pitch.
Oh, well, I was premature. There was 3 strikes.
And that one was
Wow.
over, and that one is the 4th strike.
Maybe we were just anticipating that. Now it's the end of the inning.
Now brings the Renegades in. They're a little skippy and happy as they come in.
And it is 2-0.
So they are coming back in, ready. You can see the stool being brought out for Rob, catching there behind home plate. You got Rob psyching up his players up out there. They need to move, they need to hit the ball, and they need to put some points on the board.
Wiseman is their coach and their catcher, and he's been using that stool to catch with for as long as I can remember.
We'll have Christian, I believe, up first to bat for the Renegades.
I know. Tell me when you come up.
Okay, I know.
Yeah, it's R53.
Christian on his way up to home plate. Asking for a couple of swings. He wants to swing a little bit over plate. Stepped back. Getting a good grip. Lifting that front leg into the swing. Still doing a couple practice swings over at home plate. He's backed off.
Austin's defense is very good up the middle with Darius and Mike Finn. So let's see.
So Darius has moved over a little bit short left from center. Right now we just have Drew kind of alone in the center currently.
Where's Finn at then?
Finn is back behind. We've got Darius kind of center of left field. Far back left field is Ed Manning, and right part of left field is Finn. So they kind of loaded over there.
Well, and Darius moves well to his left, so if you play him left of the middle, he can still get over there and cover in their one zone, which is the middle, because he's excellent at moving to his left. I was better at moving to my right as a short player.
And Christian ready for this pitch. Just barely under, half an inch maybe under that swing. Christian resetting his bat up at home plate.
Daxton got a home run yesterday against the Edge just before they suspended action for the day.
Ooh, nice timing. Quick shrug of the shoulders. And a little bit lower underneath the swing this time. Quick shrug of the shoulders. It's going to be a high pop-up over into center, dropping just between Andrew over in right field. But he's all on his own. He's going to be safe. It's going to give the Renegades their first run of this game. Just kind of Andrew a little alone by himself out there.
Well, and vintage Christian Thaxton get it in the air and burn speed down to the base.
Mariano out there. I'm not sure if he just didn't hear that or he figured Andrew had it. Andrew backing up a little bit there as Sean Devenish steps up to the plate.
You can tell both of these teams are a little bit more deliberate than the Thunder and Jets were in that last game.
Jaden, we did base check. We're good. All right. Just trying to get the people. I don't want to get timed out. Nope. Here we go.
Sean Devenish ready with the bat on the shoulder. It's going to be a tapping little hit just behind the pitcher into the center. Darius going over there.
Yeah.
And he is out. As he Sean somersaults over at third base.
Gene or Hunter on third base.
And this is actually bringing David Sanchez.
Sanchez is in for 46 in the corner.
Okay, so McCormick's not going to bat. Something's wrong with him. All right. Sanchez in for McCormick. All right. You don't pinch hit in the first inning for McCormick if he's at full strength. So, but now here is the man they nicknamed Sanchez, David Sanchez.
So he's getting lined up with his bases. Rob back on his stool. A couple little slow swings. Ready. A little bit low, and it's going to pop straight up about 8 feet and come straight down. Another couple slow swings. And a little low underneath the bat. Correction of placement there. High pop-up, almost a duplicate, going up about 8 feet, coming straight down.
Come on.
A rotate of the head there by Sanchez. Low underneath the swing. That is going to be another out, bringing Shane Kenton up to bat.
So that's 2 outs, 1 in here in the bottom of the first. 2-1, Austin leads.
Definitely a little bit of a different paced game here on offense from our previous game. Shane setting up his bat there on home plate and getting his feet placement. Umpire talking to Rob here a little bit. As Rob changes Shane's foot placement.
Faces, please. Thank you. Thank you. Here we go. Go. Set.
And just underneath Shane's swing. Just popping up behind him.
Well, they're on it. Just got to put it in play now.
Exhale there by Shane. A quick squat as he gets into position.
Shane cracked their starting lineup last year, and he never gave that spot up.
It's going to be a strike there as it goes under the swing. Nice pop-up over into left, just past Darius. He dashes for it. So does Ed, but they're not there. Mike Finn running for it, but that's going to give a run to the Renegades. Just not quite seeing the stronger hustle out there by the Blackhawks.
So that ties it up.
And that's going to bring Drew
Crook, our player of the game from yesterday.
from last time. He was really into grabbing those plays off his body. He was doing a spectacular job. Let's see what he's going to do today.
He was getting some good hits, too. He's not their fastest base runner, but he was getting some really good pokes in that game yesterday against Chicago. Chicago's playing New Jersey right now in another elimination game. Yeah, their backs against the wall.
Holding the ball up, check for the outfield to make sure they are happy with that beeping ball. Drew having his hand lined up for the base from Coach Rob.
Come on, Joe.
Slow drag across the center of home plate. Oh, almost. That was a wonderful pitch. Just barely off. Right on the edge of the bat. Drew relining up. Nice. Line drive over into left, past everyone, almost a duplicate. Mike Finn running for that ball, and there goes Drew. He is safe, somersaulting after hitting the ball. It's going to take them into the lead. Just not quite seeing the hustle run over there on the left there.
Boy, stay hot, Drew Crook, huh? My goodness, he rocked that one. They called a 4, which meant it was toward the left field line.
It was way on the left line, just running the entire baseline. Darius threw himself at it, but it was well past him. Ed threw himself at it. It rolled past him. Mike Finn had to run behind him to go get it. It was just not seeing the fast movement on the defense there.
So what they have done is they have taken Mike Finn out of his middle position and put Drew Burnett there, and they've dropped Mike Finn back to deep left. Interested to see how this works.
This is Guy Zuccarello for the Renegades.
Thank you. Here we go.
Getting that base check, and we're going to be ready for the pitch. He's digging his toes in a little. Oh, bouncing right through the center. Drew's going over for it, and he's got his body down. And he does have it up in time. That is going to be an out. That will be out.
That should end the inning, and it does. The Renegades get 3 on the board in the bottom of the first, so to go into the top of the second, Austin coming up. Boston 3, Austin 2.
And Austin did have Ashley Malera out there playing short right. So that was a change from yesterday as well. Renegades heading back out to the field. Blackhawks going to come back up and try to take over that 1-run lead.
We apologize for any language that the microphone might be picking up here. This is an intense game.
Kimball is in
Kimball.
for Sanchez.
Kimball for Sanchez. So we're going to see Chris Kimball now come in. As we're playing games with the 3 spot in the lineup. You see, we started with McCormick. Sanchez came in at bat for him, and now for defense, they've taken Sanchez out and they're putting Kimball in.
He is headed out on defense. It looks like into the far back left.
We appreciate Rob Weissman when he makes his substitutions at the scorer's table. He comes right over across next door
lets us know
and
of it
lets
as well.
us know too. That's a courtesy we don't always get from every coach, and so
Much
we appreciate
appreciated.
that.
This is going to bring Ed up to bat for the Blackhawks. Ed Manning. It's hot out here today. He's got his own Scooby-Doo socks on. Molly out on the pitcher's mound, ready to...
We got a substitution.
Got another sub. Oh, we already have this one. Just announcing it. Ed giving a quick tap to home plate. Wiping his face on his sleeves a little bit. Clear off some of that sweat from the heat.
you.
Well,
Not
third
getting
base
third.
is having a problem.
We got first, but waiting on third. Up, wiggle of the wire, and it might be on. Nope, back off again. Working some of the time. Depending on how it's touched, it seems to be working or not. Did a quick unplug and replug, twisting of some wires.
And
Umpires out playing with the wires on that.
again, this is going to cause stress for the coaches because they know we're on a time limit here, and so we're trying to fix some equipment.
I have a spotter coming over from the Renegades. I think we might have that adjusted. Looks like we're good on that now. Spotter asking a question of the umpire out here in the field. This is also going to use up a little bit of time. Umpire still heading out to the far field where Chris Kimball is. He's got his back turned around. Mask off, doing a quick check there. Some sweat issues with his blindfold, or foam coming loose, I believe.
These are the kind of delays we didn't have in our last game, and that's why we had 39 runs on the board in that game, and they still got it done within the time limit.
Ed getting a quick drink while he waits at home plate, and also squirting some water on his head and his neck. Definitely trying to stay cool.
It is heating up. If you're, under the tent, it's not so bad, especially with the breeze, but man, once you get out in that sun,
If you were out on the field for any length of time,
it is another scorcher.
looks like Chris is now set back out there and left.
Alright. Set the field. Here we go.
Quick tap to home plate by Ed.
Yeah, with bases, please. Thank you.
First and third.
Thank you. Here we go.
Now we're
Ed's
ready
ready.
to play.
And just barely under the swing.
A lot of pitches going below swings so far here.
Nice solid thunk over right barely inside the left base line. Drew running for that and getting that, and that is going to be an out. Good job, Drew. He's fulfilling from yesterday.
And he's over on the left side today. He got over toward that line.
They've positioned him over from center over to left, and he threw his body all the way across that, caught it with the edge of his hands, and pulled it up in time.
That's a good job by him, and that's good coaching to get him in the best place he could be in the field, give him the best chance to get over there and make the play. He wouldn't have gotten there from the middle. Nice hit, better defense.
Check on his blindfold. The ump is going out to check his blindfold. Putting it back on. And then hat back on. Ump checking the mask. And saying good. Turn around, Drew. Let's get going. Spotters are back over where they need to be.
I'm going to suggest they pick up the pace of this game a little bit.
This is a little running slow. It's going to end up costing them innings later.
Yep. And it happened to the Philly Fire earlier. They had all the momentum when that game ended in the fourth. They're not happy about it, but those were the rules we had to play under.
Gary is taking a swing. Ball just under his by about 2 inches. And this time the ball over the swing by about 2 inches. Darius stepping back up to home plate and then re-stepping back to get his gentle swing there across the bottom of the plate.
Darius scored his first time.
Here we go.
And underneath by about 2 to 3 inches. Wiping his hand off on his jersey. Bat back up over the shoulder.
Here we go.
And underneath by about 3 inches, that's going to be another out. These are going to be costly pitches if they're low.
Well, yes, and you don't want to strike out your leadoff hitter, 1. And 2, the more pitches you throw, again, the more time you're eating up with each batter. And time is of the essence today. That's another reason that last game we covered.
Between each pitch. The last game was very smooth, fast-paced.
And part of the reason for that was the players were doing things quickly, but the other reason, like getting in and out.
Experience.
The other reason was they weren't going deep into counts. There was a lot of first and second pitches being hit. And so it
Brock.
was moving along. So here's Brock. Broccoli, they call him.
Faces, please. Thank you. Thank you. Here we go.
Daniel with Brock would like third again.
Thank you.
Got it.
Here we go.
Thumbs up. Firm grip on the bat.
Here we go.
And just underneath the swing.
Right there, right there.
Needing a run out of Brock here. First 2 batters have been out this inning. Boston is holding a 3-2 lead, and they got the top of their lineup coming up. You don't want them pulling away.
And over the swing, better.
Yeah.
Still seeming to be rather erratic.
Yeah, they're laboring here. Austin is up at the plate. But really, you know, that's why you get 4. It only takes 1.
Here we go.
Right.
Just over. And this is the third game of the day, even though this is a little bit earlier because we started early. And they had to get up earlier.
Well, that's true. Yeah, we were out here
They're
before the
all
sun
tired.
came up.
Here we go.
And a pop-up going to be fouled just barely to the left behind him.
That way, Brock. That way, man. Do it again.
So there's some contact. Not really good contact, but it's better than what they were
Better
getting before.
than over and under. Quick drag of the bat. Gripping out straight in front, then pulling up over the shoulder.
Here we go.
That's going to be a nice one out into right. It's a grounder all the way to Shane. He's got to get it. It went past his arms, and that is going to be a run for Brock as he tumbles head over heels twice after hitting that base.
It only takes 1. That's why you get 4. And that was a big run there for Brock and the Blackhawks. That ties things up. Gets them on the board here in the second inning. It's 3-3.
Definitely needed that. Hopefully it will bring up some momentum for the Blackhawks to add another 1 or 2 up there. Everyone seems to be moving a little slower, both out in the field and on offense.
Well, part of it's fatigue, and part of that's probably trying to conserve energy, too. I mean, it is over 100 degrees now. They said they were watching it closely to see if we were going to be able to continue this. We're hoping to get this one in now, the 2:30 elimination games. We'll see. And that will not be a game of the day stream. But if there are streams going, we'll make sure we share them if they're shareable.
High foul pop up over into left, about 20 feet beyond third base outside. Mariano coming back to home plate. Strong exhale from Mariano. His longhorn mask. Bat down at the waist.
Here we go.
And high swing and pitch underneath.
She tells Mariano, don't change it, I got you.
Breeze picking back up just a hair.
Here we go.
A nice pop up over into right, just inside the line. Wonderful where you want to place it. Shane with it out there at the edge of his hands, but not getting it done. Mariano grabbing that base so hard that he pulled the wire and ripped the controller out of our base controller's hands.
Alrighty then. Mariano not playing around, and he's a pretty good sized lad, and he hit that base hard.
He
4-3.
took it quite a ways with him. Ripped
Austin.
that right out of their hands.
Austin takes the lead back. They've scored a couple runs now in this top of the second. They lead 4-3. Mike Finn coming up, still 2 outs. And the last 2 batters have gone over to that same side and with some success. Let's see
On that right side,
Yep.
getting just past Guy and just past Shane. Still putting first base back together here.
Bases, please.
And yeah, probably the wire.
Mariano and that base got into a collision there, and Mariano won.
He definitely had no issues with taking it out.
Yeah.
If that'd been football, that would have been a nice tackle.
Well, and that's the idea. Treat it like a tackling dummy, you know? If you run straight through it like that, face to base, as our friend Brandon Chesser is fond of saying, you can't miss it.
Still messing with first base, checking the connection.
It's on.
We do have it connected at the controller and at the base. Gonna grab this other base that we have sitting behind us and try that one. We already have the spare waiting for us, so we don't have to wait for the carts to bring it to us. Well, just got it. All they had to do was threaten to replace it. Kind of feel like it's saying you're going to take it out for a walk in the woods and only one of you will come back. It's started to behave a little bit there.
He said to threaten to come in.
Yeah, I got scared.
I got scared, started working.
It's a farmer story. They'll tell their animals they better behave. So first is now running.
I think we're ready to go now.
Field is ready. Guy back up off his feet now after resting.
Bases, please.
First,
Thank you.
third.
Thank you. Here we go.
Mike Finn happy with that.
Here we go.
And that's going to be just over the top of his swing. Nice and centered on the bat.
He has really been scuffling, at least in the couple of games so far that we've seen him.
He has been.
He's usually automatic hitting the ball.
Nice hit. This is going to be foul over on the first base side, just bouncing outside, maybe 3 to 5 feet out of third base.
Straighten that out, Mike. Small correct.
Mike Gregg getting back a hold and shrugging the shoulders there up on that bat.
Here we go.
Oh, just right over the top of his bat.
Here we go.
good pop-up, short and left, right in front of Rob Diaz. Can he get to it in time? He has him out. He did. Scrambled along there, kind of on his knees. He had to get it up, and then he made it. Had it away from his body. That is an out.
Barely. Good play by Dias, and that'll end the top of the second. A couple more runs for Austin. They retake the lead. It's 4-3 as Boston comes to bat.
Already have Rob's stool, already with his mitt in his water, out behind home plate, waiting for the Blackhawks to take the field. They're moving a little bit slower as they all head out to their places. It's not a quick exchange at all, DB.
It's a tired bunch.
Very slow moving.
They may not be as concerned about the time limit.
Their defense has been a little bit slower. Just their moving out there has been much slower. But again, they have been. This is third game. They've been out here since early morning. The first game starting at 6:30. Many of them were up at 5 o'clock or earlier to be out here practicing and warming up in time. This is bringing Christian up to bat for the Renegades. Ashley Malero out there with Mariano behind her and Littlemore towards center. Andrew right in the middle there, kind of by himself in the middle. And we got Darius, Mike Finn, and Ed over on the left.
And the Renegades bench just let us know that Christian Thaxton will be first up. They have a little individual routine that they do for each player.
He is at home plate now, setting his bat up. Got to check for the field. First. Third.
Thank you. Here we go.
And underneath the swing. Seems to be a repeating occurrence. Trying to shake that off, shrug of the shoulders. Just catching a little bit on that one as he smiles and laughs. Doesn't seem to bother him a bit. Getting a good taste on that, but it's just going to be a short little grounder out on the left. Darius running for it. It's just past his fingers, though, and he is going to be safe. That was just, he was wiggling his fingers. He thought it was right there, just barely past the tips. It's going to bring Sean Devenish up to bat. That is really, I'm just not seeing the speed on the hustle on the defense there. Everyone seems to be just like a second behind.
Well, and it's a game of inches, and Darius missed that by inches, but Thaxton was quick to the base also, so there wasn't any kind of recovery time whatsoever for the Austin defense.
None for the Austin defense.
So that
Sean quickly getting it.
That ties the game at 4 now.
4-4.
Bottom of the second.
Bottom 4.
It's going to be a strike as it slides underneath the center of his bat.
16-11.
Titans leading the Comets 16-11 in the fourth. Winner of that game advances.
Oh, and a strike. What was that score on that one again, DB?
I believe it was 16-11 New Jersey over Chicago in the fourth inning. in that elimination game. Gateway and Bayou City, I understand, are playing a rematch of the game we saw the other day. That's an elimination game as well.
Good, solid hit, line drive into center to left. Mike Finn laying down, going under his arm, and that is going to give Sean Devenish the run as they take the lead over the Blackhawks.
It was a quality hit, but I thought Finn was in a position where he would stop that. I'm not sure exactly what happened.
His body wasn't quite flat, and it kind of snuck underneath the armpit there.
Yee for Kimball now as the revolving.
In.
That's your third spot in the order. That's your revolving door this game. Last game it was the 6th spot for Boston. And what it is, you know, they put in McCormick to start the game on defense, but for some reason he's not hitting or running, so now they're using that as sort of just a platoon spot. So now Joe Yee will get an at-bat. Renegades back on top. This thing's seesawing back and forth. It's 5-4.
Rob back down on his stool. Joe taking a deep breath. Good, solid hit. High up over into right, past Ashley.
That's
She's
a
not going to
problem.
make it in time. That is going to be another run for the Renegades. Running back for that, just not going to make it in time, and almost like she gave up.
Well, and that is a dead zone on the field once it gets by her for the Blackhawks because there's really nobody else. That's why she can go back like that. Ordinarily, your front players aren't supposed to go back on balls, but when
They're the only one there.
they're the only one there and it's toward the line, yeah, she can do that, but that would have been a tough play for her, even if she had given full effort.
Yeah, it just was way back there.
Yeah.
Mariano over there coming over was not going to make it in time.
So we got a Renegade uprising going on here. 3 runs in a row to start the inning. It's 6-4, and in a game like this where both teams are sort of dragging a little bit, you can't afford to lose contact.
Got Shane getting a base check.
Austin needs an out now in the worst way.
2-run lead with Shane at the plate.
And nobody out.
It's going to be a short little pop-up just bang. It's going to stay foul. Bounced inside the line and then rolled forward.
Even a short foul ball like that makes the defense have to move, and then it makes them have to get reset.
Back into place. Shane resetting at the plate. A little bit early on the swing on that one. Pitcher telling Rob to drop his mitt just a hair. Shane correcting a knee. It's going to be a grounder out here into left. Darius trying to stop with his foot, going past Ed. And Mike catching it and having that out this time. Out Mike Finn for the putout.
Just what they needed. They needed to stop that run, and they have. There's one out now in the inning. As we get down toward the bottom of the Renegades order, but that hasn't meant much to Drew Crook.
Nothing. Hasn't meant a thing.
Drew Crook is picking up for the hole in the lineup left by Joe McCormick not being in the batting order, because Drew Crook is really, he's hitting like Joe Mack here this week.
He's got his bat patiently waiting for him, laying down across the front of home plate and checking out his foot stance there. Got a last ball that we're going to use here before we get a call for some new ones.
We've got some of the who's who here of beat baseball are hanging around watching this game. Former NBBA president Dave Smolka and his wife Terry are to our left here. Jerry Wendell was over here a minute ago. He's over here to our left. So we've got the President's Club, current and former, over to my left by the scores table. And I'm eavesdropping for other scores. I thank Terry for that New Jersey-Chicago score.
Oh, catching it just barely off the top of the bat, rolling backwards. Drew doing a slow little drag across home plate as he waits for Rob to get back to his catcher's stool. Nice slow drag, level high swing for Drew. Nice, good pop-up, high up over into right past Mariano. He is running for that ball. I don't think he's going to make that in time. Drew just putting an arm out and clotheslining first base as he goes by. That's going to give another run to the Renegades.
Sort of a slow developing play. Again, Drew Crook not the most fleet of foot, but he got plenty of air under that. And that's a tough play for Mariano. That ball seemed to be moving away from him.
He was definitely running. It was out behind him. He was just trying to keep up and catch up to it. But if you're playing catch-up, Drew's just playing slowly, getting closer to the base. Didn't even have to dive for it. Put an arm out, clotheslined it, and it was done.
So 4 of the last 5 have scored here in the bottom of the second for Boston. They're beginning to pull away a little bit here.
You guys want these or over here?
So we have Guy Zuccarello up for Boston, getting that base check.
Here we go.
Got the okay in the field. Oh, just barely over his bat by about 2.5 inches there.
218, you got it, kid.
Lifting the bat up over his shoulders, a nod of his head to his pitcher.
And if I'm Boston, I'm staying toward right field with these guys. They haven't made a play over there yet. Make them show that they can.
Oh, almost knocked out the pitcher. Barely got out of the way. Darius jumping in front of the ball. Mike Finn now trying to lay in front of it, but he is going to be safe. Another run. That was close. Almost took out the pitcher. Had to do a little dance there to stay out of the way.
Looks like they're all timing there.
Split them right up the middle of the Austin defense, and that's 5 out of 6 that have scored. Danger time now for the Austin Blackhawks.
Danger.
It is 8-4, and the top of Boston orders up still, only 1 out.
Darius desperately was trying to slow that ball down, but it was just past his reach.
Second. Okay.
We got Christian back up at the plate now.
Here we go. Do it again, Thax.
Here's Thaxton.
Oh, the best.
He scored a couple.
The best hitter.
A little bit of a exhale before bringing the bat up.
In case you missed it earlier, Thaxton did hit a home run yesterday.
Oh, popping up directly behind him. Rob losing his glasses as he reached to catch
Rob, you
that.
still got it. Still got it, Rob.
He's got the core starting to come out of that ball.
Whew.
Had to push it back in.
I thought you were going.
Ah, Christian, strong exhale. Bringing that bat back up.
Oh, look out.
Good hard line drive. Mike Finn's gonna. Oh, he snagged it up like nothing. Mike Finn put his arms out. It did bounce, but it bounced down off the ground and back right up into his hands, and he snagged that out.
Well, that was a big play by Finn. He finally got one there, and he's capable of that. That's the second out of the inning as he robs Thaxton. 8-4 still, and now Devenish to the plate. Devenish looks like he's hitting a lot better than we had seen him earlier this year. He's got things worked out.
That's pretty good. He's an awesome player.
Nice. Got the base check, and he's ready. Just getting a tap on that. Gonna see if I don't think it's. I don't think it's gonna make it.
No,
and that is gonna be foul. He's already at it. Ashley Malera was trying to come up on that, but not quite fair. And that will be a foul. Sean Cum will have to come back to the plate.
That's 2 for 2 for you today, and 0 for 2 for me. I thought that thing was going to creep over the line, in which case it would have been tough.
Yeah, it would have been barely over the line when it stopped. It was losing momentum quickly, which is unusual for how the balls have been moving lately.
Well, he barely tipped it. On normal ground, that probably would have made it to the pitcher's mouth.
He's coming back easily, a little out of breath. Going to take some time setting up with his bat here so he can get a couple breaths of air.
But as out of breath as he may be right now, it's the Austin Blackhawks defense that is baking as this inning continues.
Just standing out there is rough.
They've been out there a while, and they've had to move on foul balls and some deep shots. They got to be gassed.
Taking a pass on that one.
And they only have one pitcher as far as I know, too, the Blackhawks. I mean, so Molly doesn't get any kind of break. She's not spotting, at least.
Just underneath that. Sean resetting his feet placement. One bat's width apart. Rob giving him a little more correction of where front to back to put that front foot. Just over the top of the swing. Just rocking back and forth, foot to foot.
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
Just flubbing up over off of that and hitting his shoulder as he takes a step forward.
He's all over the ball. He's just looking for a good one here. We're still in the bottom of the second inning, folks, believe it or not.
And just underneath it, and that is going to be an out.
That'll be all of that for the Renegades in the second, but they put up 5. We're heading to the third. It is 8-4 Boston over Austin.
We do have that hydration break that we're going to be taking. And our Blackhawks slowly making their way into the bench. They'd have more time for rest.
I got feathers in front of me. Sorry. You still on?
Yeah, we're...
Yes.
There's feathers. I got
So
to
they're
take a picture.
making their way in, Mariano being the last one to head in. They're going to all be sitting on the bench, getting a breather, getting out of that sun. They need to be in the shade. Got the Renegades over here. It looks like we might have another substitution possibly. McCormick is going to be coming back in after this break, it looks like.
He's been out his 6 outs now. Remember, he started on defense, and then they pulled him in the bottom of the first, so he's eligible to come back in now, and so they'll put him back in for defense, and then I'm sure sub him out again, and we'll do the routine all over again with that third spot in the order.
Definitely an interesting thing. Definitely must be some kind of an injury or pulled muscle or heat issue going on there with Joe McCormick.
9 o'clock at the latest. People should be here by 8 o'clock.
Breeze is starting to pick up again. It was a little stagnant there for a little bit. It's kind of nice for the players as they come off, but it would be much nicer for them if it would continue while they were out on the field to have that breeze instead of when they're sitting on the bench. I think we have some breaking news coming in
Yep,
just
I have
a
an
moment.
update from the league president, Jerry Wendell. The 2:30 games will be suspended and they will be postponed and picked up at 8:30 tonight, 9 o'clock at the latest. We will finish, barring us being told we can't, we will finish these games in this time slot, but the 2:30 games will be played under the lights. And we will try to, we're not going to have our full stream team together, but I will try to get out with somebody and stream one of those elimination games under the lights. It's been a long time. Last one I can remember we played under the lights in the World Series was in Tulsa, Oklahoma, between Boston and the Jets. on a Friday night. That was that third place game, and it was a good one, and the Jets won it.
So definitely it is starting to heat up out here again. Those postponements are in the best interest of all the players to stay healthy, as well as all our volunteers. So we appreciate people looking out for the health. We don't want any heat exhaustion or collapses on the field. I do remember, I think it was 2 years ago, when Tanner Gers had a little bit of what I believe was heat exhaustion and had to sit out for a while.
Well, the backstory to that was drinking some pickle juice before the game to try to get electrolytes, and then that's turned out not to be a good idea. And we had found out later that's what kind of was ailing Tanner. But yes, that happened on a Game of the Day stream, and
still very, very
wasn't
hot.
pretty.
And it does not help to be in the heat. So if there's any danger, getting these players out of the heat is a good thing.
And the heat index continues to rise, so they're not even going to wait until 2:30 to make that decision. That decision has already been made and announced. We will pick up those games later this evening here. We've played under the lights before. I mentioned the one in 2019, and that was just because we ran out of time on Friday during the day because we had a 30-28 game, among other things that had happened that day. Before that, in 2013, and this was a planned event because it was in the minor league baseball stadium, they played a placement game, a 5th, 6th place game over there. I think it was the Chicago Comets and I want to say Carolina that were in that game. That was Eric Rodriguez's little coming out party. He was a rookie. He was only 13 playing for the Comets, and he probably had 8 or 9 putouts in that game. And everybody, the world learned who he was, and
very quickly.
And he has not stopped.
Come back to us.
Definitely a very quick climb from rookie up to stardom there for Eric.
And he has his Indy Edge playing in the winners bracket final tomorrow. One of only 2 teams left who haven't lost.
Undefeated.
Yep, and that will be a rematch of last year's championship game, Edge and Jets. Meanwhile, teams still trying to play their way back, like the Philly Fire, like the Indy Thunder. These 2 teams here, Gateway Archers and Bayou City. That New Jersey-Chicago game, I will find out if that was a final.
The last score that you had on that was
16-11 New Jersey, and they were the 10 seed, so they're going to likely exceed that 10 seed that they got.
Getting to you.
So I have just about a minute or so left of our hydration break here. You can see some of the players starting to stand up and move around. Over on the Boston side, Rob is going over with all his spotters, some stats and information, probably going over hits from the Blackhawks side, make sure his spotters are prepared and ready to move the defense around out there. Just not seeing quite the same movement defensively on the Blackhawks side on defense that I've seen them play in the past. But again, it is blisteringly hot. This is days in, games in, starting early. That exhaustion is really starting to play into effect for all these players.
Well, and here's the problem the Blackhawks may run into here. Boston's up by 4. They are the home team, so they have the final at-bats. And we are now just about an hour into this game, and we've played 2 innings.
Yeah, it's definitely a much slower pace. And that can definitely, there goes our timer for our 5 minutes. We're going to have to be pulling our teams back out onto the field. They're going to have to get in play. So this will be pulling Blackhawks. Have a little bit of a glove tossing there. The catcher tossing the glove up onto the tent for it to slide back down to them. Looks like Renegades might be just about ready to go.
I believe Drew Burnett will be first up to bat for the Blackhawks. That's looks like where we're at in the order. Although I sort of flubbed the order at the end of our last game there. It's 3 off, 1 inning off from it, but I think that's where we're at. It's going to be 5, 6, and 1.
I think you're pretty close
Burnett, to that. And then Ed Manning and Darius are the scheduled hitters. And we are past our 5 minutes now.
Definitely.
Come on,
past
guys,
it.
got to go. Heat index is up in the 108, 109 territory. Let's do this.
Don't see much move. We have our umpires out behind us having a conversation going on with scorekeepers and President Jerry Wendell. So we might be discussing some more heat issues that are going on. Also discussing with head ump Jason Price there.
Yeah, and he did say they were going to try to finish this round of games.
But it wasn't a
But
guarantee.
that's not a guarantee. Part of this has to do with the parks and the facility, the city, in conjunction with the National Weather Service in Norman, Oklahoma. Fortunately, they've got a field office right here covering this CWA, and so
that is up to the Parks and Recs department.
we are under an excessive heat warning, and so the idea was to get out early this morning and knock out as much as possible, and then have the night game as a fallback option should we end up in this situation. There was some hope that maybe the high pressure center that's been sitting over us and driving all this heat would slide east a little and we would at least go down by a few degrees. I don't think that's happened. I was out there in the sun between games, and it is
Just as hot as it was yesterday.
it is brutal. And they're
the
not going to take
breeze
any
is
chances
not coming.
here.
Yesterday we had a little bit more breeze yesterday than this. Today it's been very off and on. Stronger when it does come in, but a lot of laps there where there's nothing happening. It's kind of an oppressive
It's gustier.
heat.
Yes, it's gustier. When there's no wind at all, it's just sitting on you and it's oppressive. But when there is wind, it's blowing hard enough to rattle the canopies and so forth. So this is going to be interesting to see what happens. But you know what? If that's what's holding this up, this is counterproductive.
Now we're in about 10 minutes
Yeah,
now on
we
our
just turned a
hydration break.
5-minute break into a 10-minute break.
Looks like players are starting to get up and moving now.
All right, here we go.
We're going to have Boston taking the field here. They're starting to make their way out there. And Andrew is making his way up to home plate. Boston moving a little slower than last time when they headed out to the field. Each time it's slower and slower.
What
That
I do
exhaustion.
know is if this has to be stopped, it is not an official game. It would need to be suspended and picked up. It's not official until you finish 4 innings. Or you get to that 2 hour and 15-minute time limit, I suppose.
Boston about half set up out in the field. Molly coming out to the pitcher's mound, receiving the ball from the ump.
So to reset, we've got an 8-4 Boston lead going to the top of the third. Austin scored 2 in the first and 2 in the second. The Renegades scored 3 in the first and picked up 5 in the second.
We are almost fully set up out here in the field. Sean Devenish just moving back a little bit more into place there. Loaded up a little heavy on the left side out there in defense.
I got to tell you, Rosina, and this is going to be a treat for the fans, the spectators, both on the live stream and those that make it out. We don't get, I know it's a last resort and we didn't want to have to do it, neither did the Parks. They've been great in accommodating us, but it's not often we get night games at the World Series, and we do have lights here. Why not?
Take advantage of them,
Why not?
absolutely. The morning games that we played this morning was actually quite a delight.
I mean, the downside is whatever teams have to keep playing tomorrow morning are going to have a short turnaround, but they had that this morning anyway.
And that's going to be high just over the bat.
I mean, folks, wrap your mind around the fact if the game started, which they did at 6:30 this morning, you're out on the fields by 6. You have to get to the fields. There were 5, even 4:30 a.m. wake-up calls this morning to get out here and play.
Underneath the swing by about 3 to 4 inches.
We have
Big gap.
We have a powwow going on behind us, folks, involving the upper echelon of the NBBA. This is fascinating to me as Jason Price, our umpire-in-chief, and some of the others.
Jerry Wendell.
Discuss. I don't see Cassie back there yet, but
Not yet.
both teams upset at it or just one?
And a little bit closer, just barely over the top outside edge of the bat. Quick rotation of the shoulders with the bat over the head there for Drew. And just underneath, and that's going to be out for Andrew and the Blackhawks, bringing Ed Manning up to the plate. Moving a bat out of his way so he doesn't trip on his way up to home plate. Ed in his Scooby-Doo socks there, tapping home plate with his bat.
Jerry, what? Yeah, just so I have my head straight.
Final
Getting
score.
up quick.
Well, we don't have an exact final, but New Jersey did end up finishing their game and surviving. Chicago has been eliminated from the double elimination. They'll play for placement. That's too bad for Chicago.
That is a rough call
rough.
for them.
Jerry would tell you, David. I'm not sure.
And a little bit high on that pitch. Ed's kind of got a low hold on his bat down at his waist level coming up. Swing. And giving it a solid smack, but just bouncing down, and it's going to be foul.
You don't want that one.
Which Rob Diaz was right there sliding past it. As soon as he heard foul, he gave up, but his entire body was sliding right past that ball on the grass.
I've been impressed with Rob Dias on defense all week long. He's always been a solid defender, but boy, he's been all over the field this week, it seems like, for the Renegades. Number
Definitely
18.
trying to cover a lot of space.
And he's a good hitter, too, but we haven't seen him in their lineup. He's been their designated fielder in both of the games we've covered. Don't know what's up with that, but it's translated into some really good defense for Diaz. It's pronounced Diaz. It looks like Diaz, but, you know, he's in Boston, so that's pronounced Diaz.
Diaz.
D-I-A-S. Number 18.
Ed at ease there, kind of resting a little bit, taking a deep breath as he rests. Going to be a pass here. And there goes that pass.
Back to action. I missed because I was gathering a score. What did Burnett do to start this inning? Do you have that written down?
I didn't write it.
Well, it was either an out.
It was not a run. It was an out.
It was an out. Okay. Well, that's the important part. So there's one out.
I think that was a strikeout.
It's still 8-4.
Here we go.
And just underneath the bat. Oh, tight grip there. Ed kind of gripping the handle on his bat. There's a frustration there. Another quick taps on that home plate there. And late swing, and that is going to make an out. It's 2 strikeouts there.
This is a tired Blackhawks bunch. I don't want to dwell on it, but
Definitely tired.
man, you can tell this is not the Austin Blackhawks that we saw the very first game of the tournament here against Oklahoma.
Definitely not. It's bringing Darius back up to the plate. Everything seems almost like it's in a slow motion kind of movement.
Yeah, doesn't it? I mean, I can't say there's no rhythm this game. There is a rhythm, but it's like turning the metronome all the way to the left.
Absolutely is. Getting a good connection on that, but it's going foul on the first base side.
So what will happen after this game is we will shut down until later this evening. I will check the brackets. We're not going to have our whole stream team together, but if we can I can get back out here, we are, and we will do a game this evening.
I will possibly also be out on a game.
Hell, if that's the case, then I'm finding you, and we'll just grab somebody's phone and we'll get her done. I don't know that your Chaos will still be playing.
I do not.
Not at this time. They may have a placement game tomorrow morning. I don't think they would be in one of those games tonight, but we'll check the brackets and keep everybody updated.
And high up over the swing.
What we do know is we'll have 2 games for you tomorrow, and we know that one of them will be Edge and Jets. As of now, that's scheduled for 11:30 Central Time, and that will be for us the right to move on to the championship game. And then we will have the what they call the third place game, or the final elimination game.
Short little pop-up that almost hits him in the head as he squats past that and drops down. Back up to home plate again.
The executive huddle behind us is broke up now, so it sounds like they've got a game plan.
Oh, and almost like a little bit of a strain and high up over the swing
Out
for
the
3 strikeouts.
Side is what they did. Struck out the side, down by 4, and now Boston comes to bat up 8-4, and now they're looking for some separation as we get toward the second, really toward the tail end of our time limit. I mean, we're not there yet, but we're definitely in the second hour of this now solidly. As this game started, what, around 12:20, 12:25?
Yeah, closer to 12:25 when we actually got started.
And we're sitting now at 1:38, so they may get 4 innings here, and Sanchez is coming in for McCormick. What do you know? Here we go. We're going to start that all over again, which means that if we have this rotation right, Kimball will come in for Sanchez, and then Yee will come in for Kimball, and we'll start all over again if we get there.
So here is Sanchez up now, standing at home plate, just waiting. Mike Finn hopping up and down, trying to stay limber out in the field, while Darius is at a nice, just at ease, hands on his hip.
All right, we got 48 going for 46. Come on, David.
Rob getting a seat on his stool here as David is waiting at home plate. Looks like most of our field is set up. Gonna get that base check.
Thank you.
Archers and Heat were tied at last report. Well, on any given day. And that game wasn't close on Tuesday.
Low one, almost taking out the pitcher's legs, going right down. Oh, Drew sliding right over there to scoop that up. I believe that was Drew Burnett there with the put out, I believe, there in center, sliding over to right.
He's an excellent defender. He always has been. When he was with Fort Worth, when he was with BCS, last year with the Houston Hurricanes. You know, he's been on bottom tier teams, so people don't notice a lot. Now he's here with Austin, but he's an excellent defensive player.
This is bringing up for the Renegades Shane Canton.
In fact, Drew Burnett was, I'd say, along with Hillary and a couple others, the cornerstone of that BCS defense, which was in the top, always in the top half of the league, even though they didn't win a lot of games because they didn't score a lot of runs. That was John Stark's defense. So Burnett's been well trained.
A little stumbling double. We'll see if that's going to make it fair. If so, it'll be barely. Nope, that's foul. That is about probably 5 or 6 inches shy of the line. Shane. Woo! Since he was just to the base by the time it finally got called.
If you're Boston right now, you like where you're at, but you don't want to stop now. You want to keep the line moving and get some more, and if you can, get closer to that time limit and create some separation.
Wasting some time, a little bit more runs.
Austin's having a real trouble making consistent contact in this game right now, although we saw that a little bit against Oklahoma, and then in the 4th inning, Austin snapped and scored, 8 or 9 runs in that inning to take over that game, and they never looked back.
Up took the pass.
And now he's got a swing.
And just underneath his swing there, pulling his shirt back up over his shoulders.
So now it goes full.
Making good connection, a pop-up. It's going to be right in front of Darius. Bounced over his hands. He's got his hands out. Everybody else is scrambling for the ball, and that is going to be safe. They're just laying there in the field, not going for it. Giving that point run to the Renegades.
Yeah, they can't get down early. Like, they can't be laying down on a ball that's bouncing around, though. You know, Darius is kind of on an island there when he's trying to corral a bouncing ball. Somebody's got to get over there and try to help a little bit.
There were, let's see, Ed and Mike were also right behind. All three of them were just kind of on the ground around the ball. Nothing really happening.
Oh, man.
It was
9
really
to 4.
rough for the Blackhawks. They are definitely, it's got to be an exhaustion.
Well, and they have a roster. They've got a bench over there, and I think if it were that much of a concern, maybe you would see some fresh bodies in there.
It's going to be Drew Crook up for the Renegades.
Oh, what a shot.
Smash all the way down. Oh, but Ed over there grabbing it. Wow. He slid over there like lightning, almost like he heard us saying that they were slow. That was right just inside the third base line. He was flying over there, launched directly at, just gobbled it up.
What does he have, earbuds in, man? Can he hear us? Maybe he could hear us because he said, "I'll show you." That was one of the harder hit balls of the game today.
Nice, solid.
I thought that was one that was going to roll all the way to the next field over there, and then instead he cut it off. Good job. But they need more of those.
Definitely, they're going to have to pop in some more of that.
Mike Finn's done one, Drew Burnett's done one, he's done one, but they've just been far
Sporadic.
between. Yep.
Mrs. Guy up here.
They definitely want to get him. I don't know that you want to see Thaxton and Devonish in this inning. Already down 5.
And that's going to be a strike because it goes under the outside of the bat. Just under the bat again, a little bit further in. And giving a nice little bounce right there into center, well into area. Darius scooting over, but no, it is going to be Andrew Burnett with that out. They are starting to hustle. Things are picking up, and they are starting to move. Wonderful job bringing the Blackhawks back in. They need to get out of that heat. Mike Finn skipping his way in. Definitely, they're also moving in off the field faster than I've seen them in the last couple innings.
That was a fine defensive inning. They only gave up the 1 run there, and they closed it out strong with 2 plays. And so we got a 5-run game now as we head to the 4th. So we're halfway through this now. The Blackhawks were down 3 going to the fourth. They were down 8-5 to Oklahoma, and then they went and took over the game. They're down 9-4 here as we head to the fourth, and that was...
It was Chris Kimball is
yep.
in for David Sanchez.
All
Kind
right.
of predicted. Is what we
Now,
saw happen.
Rob is becoming a little predictable now with his Renegade shuffle, if you will.
We do have Renegades are almost already currently set in the field. So Chris Kimball back out there going into far back and left field, a little closer to the center line, halfway between center and third base there.
The Renegades' best finish ever in their, 23-year history was in 2016 in Ames, Iowa, when they made it all the way to the championship game before losing to the Indy Thunder. They had made it undefeated to the Friday game, the winner's bracket final, lost a close one to the Thunder, but the more importantly for them, they lost Joe McCormick in that game. That was the game where he collided in the field and fractured a jaw, as I remember, and he ended up out, and the Thunder just made easy work of them in the championship game. But they finished second. They finished third in 2019.
So this is Daniel Brock. And a little bit of an early swing there, and the ball was a little low.
Brock was the NBBA Rookie of the Year last year. Well, he shared those honors with Casey Krause from the Fire. Both excellent players now in their second year. We saw Casey earlier today. Boy, is he impressive. That kid can play.
Here we go.
And just getting a taste of that one, but at least it's up and making contact. They're moving Mike Kimball over. It's Chris Kimball, not Mike Kimball. Over.
Here we go.
And a little bit under the swing this time again.
Molly's really fighting it hard. You know, like
I feel that is really just a struggle for her right now.
Only pitcher that they have really on their roster now that Hibner's gone to Oklahoma, and so she's been out there all week pitching in the sun.
Oh, a little bit closer, only about half an inch off, but again, just not there. This is going to bring Mariano up to bat for the Blackhawks.
That's another strikeout.
And then there comes another oppressive blast of heat I can feel right, and you can feel it move in.
Mm-hmm. With a little wind behind it that doesn't really help all that much. It more teases you than anything else, because by the time you start to enjoy it, it's gone. 4 straight strikeouts now for the Blackhawks.
That one's getting a good contact, and it is just inside that. Now it's rolling
That's a
out, but
great
they're going to
hit.
have to run.
He's
It's
gonna
way
score.
out of there. There is no way they're going to have that. That is going to be a run for Mariano and the Blackhawks.
That helps. It's her first run since the second inning. And that makes it 9-5. One out in the top of the fourth.
Definitely no way that Shane was going to get to that. That was running right along the baseline until about 10 feet past first base, then slowly rolling out, but at a very good clip, very quick. This brings Mike Finn up to the plate, again casually waiting, see if he does his little wiggle dance that Molly requests.
These games, in addition to being available live on our Facebook page and on nbba.org/live, are also available on demand. And if you didn't catch it earlier, you can get on demand that classic barn burner of a game we had before this one between the Jets and the Thunder. They did it for us again. It was a 2019 final, and the Jets walked off the Thunder. Aaron Almanza with the game winner in the bottom of the 6th.
A little bit high over the bat.
I might even go back and check out that game.
Here we go.
Right on, a bouncing grounder over into left, past Rob. Drew Crook just snatching anything up that's in his vicinity. He has been a superb player.
Yes, he
for
has.
the Renegades.
Drew Crook doing it again.
Drew out there just feeling pretty good about that. Just casually standing up. Yeah, no big deal.
He's about the most improved player. I had mentioned a couple of others earlier, but he's one of the most improved players I've seen this year for Boston. He was fighting for a starting spot last year, and he's been solid all year long for them.
There's Andrew Burnett up for the Blackhawks. It definitely has been a struggle, Molly, to get a ball up to the bats of her players.
Thank you. Thank you. Here we go.
Here we go.
Right.
Just underneath again.
Here we go.
Just getting a tip on that, but it's just going to drop and go forward about 10 feet.
A lot
Drew
of ground
actually
balls.
got them his bat as he was starting to turn to run for third, caught the bat on the ground and kind of stumbled a little bit.
Drew's got enough foot speed that if he can, even if it's a ground ball, if he can just put it in play over that line and make the Renegades defense have to move. Probably want to keep it away from Rob Dias, but they have a chance of scoring, but they gotta put him in play. 9-5, 4-run lead for Boston here. 2 outs in the top of the 4th.
And a little bit of an early swing, and that's going to be a strike.
Here we go.
Getting a nice connection, but kind of inside the bat and rolling up over the top. Coming out behind you.
Yeah, she's fighting hard. I gotta give Molly Fleming a lot of props here. You can see it, but she's still getting some contact. It's just really, it's a struggle.
And that one's going to be another low pitch underneath, sending the Blackhawks back out to the field to try to defend and hold that 4-run lead that the Renegades have on them.
Yep, and the Renegades again, they've got a chance to separate. They had the same chance last inning when they only got a run because Boston's defense made some plays. Boston's just getting a lot more contact, and they're getting a lot more premium contact. That's been the main difference in the game.
Let's see if Austin will maintain that defense they had last time. They had picked up a little bit that last inning, and they had actually started to hustle and move a little bit, and it kind of showed.
Let's see if Austin can get their second win. They've still got 2 innings. And or about a half an hour. 45 minutes maybe if they don't count that extra long water break.
Hydration break. Hey, Rob bringing Christian over to home plate to practice his swings over there. That way they can move this up as quickly as possible. Rob looks like he's wanting to get things going quickly.
Well, and I think Rob wants to step on the gas here because it's the bottom of the 4th. they're up for, and they've got the top of their lineup due up. This is a prime opportunity for Boston to try to put this thing away.
All right, here we go. Bases, please.
First base.
Bases, please.
First.
Thank you.
Third.
Thank you. Here we go.
Christian with a deep exhale with both hands on the bat. A couple shoulder shrugs. Down ready for the pitch.
Right.
Oh, a little bit of an early swing there and underneath. Christian pulling that back up over the shoulder. Took a pass on that. He stepped his foot forward almost like he was going to go for that swing, but then didn't.
Thaxton played college ball before he lost his sight, so he's about as fundamentally sound as you're going to get when he's up there at the plate. He's just a beautiful swing.
Oh, ball a little on the inside, and that's going to be a strike.
Got it, Muscle Beach. Let's get it.
I thought he had that one there. See if he can get this one.
Nice, good grounder right through Darius's hands. Mike Finn going the wrong way. It's out behind. Oh my, he's plowing. He slid like a sled on first base, DB. Literally wrapped both hands around it and just slid on the grass.
Nice job, Thaxton, and that was a seeing eye hit. He got it through Darius and got it by Finn.
I
And
think there might be Darius is holding his hand, it looks like, down on his knees in the outfield.
wonder if he jammed it on the ground.
I'm not sure. He had both hands outstretched and the ball went right through him, and I don't know if as he kept going, if his hand jammed when he hit. But he's definitely, looks like he is in pain. He's kneeling down and he's got his head up. It's his left hand.
Boy, that would be a crushing loss for the Blackhawks. That's
Trying
your
to see if he can move his fingers.
defensive ace and your leadoff hitter. He was an all-star and probably is an all-star again. He was in San Antonio last year showing out with us at All-Star Showcase.
He's getting a drink of water there, but I'm still not seeing much movement out of his hand. Oh, I saw a thumb move.
You want a medic?
And
Checking this.
they're gonna have to get it. They're gonna have to take him out, I think.
Oh, I saw the fingers move, kind of bending him back and forth a little bit. They're helping him up. And he's got his arm over the shoulder. Oh, no, he's standing in his position. He's shaking his fingers, trying to shake it off.
Well,
He says he's all right, and he's going to hold.
when we'll find out if it really affects him is when he picks
plays.
up a bat. Not necessarily out there, but
Shaking his fingers, kind of shaking the hand off. A lot of clapping from Boston over here. This does bring Christian up.
meanwhile they've got their 5-run lead back, and they've doubled the Blackhawks now at 10-5 here in the bottom of the fourth. Winner of this game advances to another elimination game. They'll move up and play one of the teams that lost. I don't know if it'll be the Thunder or the Jet, the Fire, but it'll be one of them.
Thank you. Here we
Got
go.
a base check for Christian.
Winner plays tonight at 8:30.
Against?
I'll give you the option in a second.
I'm going to get some clarification.
Getting a short little dump over into left field. Darius running up for that, trying to get it, hold of it. He does have him out. He almost lost control of that, but he did get Christian out. Christian heartbroke laying on the grass over there past third base. He slammed into it, but not in time. Darius scrambled over there and got him out.
Was that Christian or Devonish? I thought the first one scored.
Oh, I guess that was Devonish.
Just making sure as
Yeah, that was Sean Devonish.
I'm trying to get some clarification. The winner of this game tonight will... Oh, he's throwing us a curveball. Now he's putting Rodriguez in. Okay.
They'll play the winner of Houston and Tyler.
Okay. So the winner of this game will play the winner of the Houston Hurricanes and Tyler Tigers, and that will be an 8:30 game.
So we have
Field 7 at
Luis Rodriguez up at the plate, waiting for our ump to return back up from the field.
So that's on the Thunder side of the elimination bracket. So the winner of this game will play the winner of Tyler and Houston. That's the Hurricanes, not the Bayou
Out
City.
stands.
All right, the out stands.
And that was Sean Devonish. I'm sorry, folks.
So then on the other side of that at 8:30 tonight, the New Jersey Titans will play somebody when we find out about that Gateway Bayou City score. And that's opposite the Philly Fire. So the winner of that one would play them tomorrow morning. So the Thunder and the Fire, after they lost their game earlier today, they're done till tomorrow. We know that. As are the Jets and the Edge on the winner's side. Other teams will be playing under the lights. Boston looking good here, up 10-5. There's one out.
Luis with his neon yellow arm sleeves.
So this is the...
Nice high pitch. It's going to be a short little pop-up over and left. Darius scrambling for it, but it's going to go foul because it did not make it past first base, which is a good thing because Luis was running really wide out away from third.
Why are you smiling?
He was
This
far
is the
wide.
fifth different player now to occupy the third spot in the batting order, which once belonged to Joe McCormick.
And McCormick, Joey, David Sanchez,
Chris Kimball, and now here's Rodriguez in that
Luis
spot.
Rodriguez. Back up at home plate, waiting to get another connection that will stay fair. He's wanting another base check. Coach Rob is making sure he has that correct B line in on third base since he ran wide. Under the swing. And he was a little early. And exhale. Timing was right. Pitch was just a little low.
Come on, Louie.
Save the final. Hurricanes 15, Tigers 14.
And just getting a touch on that one.
Final score to report, Hurricanes 15, Tigers 14. So the winner of this game will play those Houston Hurricanes. They're still fighting. That's the 12 seed. They're the lowest seeded team, I think, that's still alive in this thing. Remember, they had the upset of the tournament yesterday, and they have advanced, knocking off the Tyler Tigers.
And low up underneath, that's going to make an out.
That's the
for
second
Luis.
out of the inning.
Brings Shane up to bat. The sing-songing over there of the Renegades. Shane setting up his bat there at the front of home plate, lining his right foot there with the handle of his bat to get his stance correct and lined up as we get a base check. Rob adjusting his hands there to make sure he has a straight on line. And just barely catching them. It is popping up over the bat to the catcher. Asking for a new ball. You got Darius out there, still holding his hand just a little bit as he kneels, resting out in the outfield. New ball in play.
Go. 22-19 New Jersey.
Final.
And that's going to be a strike as it goes underneath the bat.
Another final here. The New Jersey Titans have eliminated the Chicago Comets 22-19. New Jersey will move on.
High little pop-up. I think that's going to go foul, though it is, and Shane will have to come back.
And that means that the Chicago Comets are going to finish outside of the top 8 for the first time, I believe, in team history. That is tough.
Definitely heartbreaking for the Comets.
They've had a tough year. And not having Giovanni Franchisi and Noah Beckman at this World Series didn't help. And, you know, they looked good early.
Once they corrected that defense,
They
little
were okay.
kerfluffles they had, they were much better.
And I think they would admit now that they should have corrected that a couple innings before they did. But like JT Herzog so aptly put it, hindsight is 20/20.
It's getting a nice little bounce on that. That's going to go foul again, same as before.
So that means that New Jersey will now await the winner of the rematch between Gateway and Bayou City, and I'm still waiting for an update there. I've got our league president, Jerry Wendell, doubling as in-game update man over here, working the phones and turning machine, trying to get us some scores over here as these games go along.
We appreciate that. Having the updates helps keep you, viewers, informed. Shane back up at the plate, resting bat on shoulder. Taking a pass on that one. I kind of thought he would. He was a little relaxed there. Now he's down in position and ready. Nice hard hit, but it's going to be foul. Is inside a little bit more than last time. He's improved, but it was still foul. Nice little rip chants over there from the Renegades.
One of the more entertaining chants in the league right there.
Shane says no more takes for me.
You think they
Sitting at the
practiced that? Because that was awfully well choreographed over there.
I think they do. It's popping up just over. It's going to be just fair. Ashley Malero coming up for the ball. Is she going to have it in time? He is safe.
Oh, Ashley. A little quicker, Ashley.
So that is going to have Shane his run. Ashley coming up on that. It was very short, just barely in play. A foot and a half past the 40-foot line there. She scrambled for it, but not quite quick enough to beat out Shane to the base.
Cleveland beat Minnesota in a placement game, if anybody's interested in that.
Drew Crook up for the Renegades again.
It seems like Austin has spent a lot of time on defense in this game for whatever reason. Not that they've given up a ton of runs, it's just that they've been out there forever.
Time.
Between foul balls and equipment stuff and everything else.
Heat beat Archer 23-20.
23-20, Bayou City beat Gateway, so they won both of those matchups. Wow, closer one this time.
Hard hit. Is that going to stay fair? It's going to be foul. It was right on the third base side. Went probably about 20 feet past third base before dropping down, but it was foul.
So again, Bayou City advances, beating Gateway. That knocks Gateway out, and they started out as the 5th seed in this tournament, and they are going to finish outside of the top 8, and that, for the second year in a row is got to be just heart-wrenching for that
Archers.
program, as every year they've got such high hopes. They picked up Mark Morris this year, had a rookie developing in Caleb Wright, and yet they just ran into a couple of buzzsaws, got on the wrong side of the bracket, and they are done.
Mike, give me a water quick.
Got water coming up.
Throw me a water.
So much for those rankings. He said so much for those rankings, Jerry.
Got water being brought out here to Drew Cook. He's just got a really dry mouth
Percentage down.
before our umpire returns back up out here.
Wow.
So ready to go. Pitcher heading back out to the pitch mound. Drew has gotten his little water.
I'm fresh out right now on my wall. All right, bases, please. Thank you.
So you're gonna have
Thank you. Here we go.
you're gonna have Bayou City and New Jersey later on in one elimination game, and then the winner of this game against the Houston Hurricanes in another.
Hard pop up deep center. Mike Finn running for that
It's
ball.
gone.
Drew again, and Mike Finn on the ground, but away from the ball, and Drew catching that run. Not as swift, but he's got so much airtime.
He's just crushing the ball this week. I've never seen, and not just this week. He's been hitting well all season, but it just seems like it's like building to a crescendo. He's just hitting the ball harder and harder every time we see Drew Crook hit. I think we're seeing a star being born maybe over there in Boston. He's been in the league a few years, but he's never like this. All these
So we have
popsicles
Guy
again.
coming up to bat, and we've been by our volunteers been brought some popsicles to help
now.
keep us cool.
This was
We
a bad
really
omen
appreciate
yesterday.
this.
It wasn't long after the popsicles came that the games got suspended. So hopefully there's better
Again,
luck
we do
today.
have Guy up at the plate. We've had a new ball, holding it up out there for the outfield to see if that is a ball that they want. Still waiting to hear.
I hear you.
Apparently there was no
All right, bases, please.
getting that base check.
Okay.
Thank you.
Coach correcting the arm beeline for Guy. Darius at the ready there for a hit. Catching it is going to go short over and to right, past Ashley Malero. She's going to have to run for it. You got Mariano coming to back her up, but he's already tackled the base, and that's another run for the Boston Renegades with Guy Zuccarello. Just way out there past Ashley. She was running. Mariano come running on the fly. Not there in time.
Boston's about to put this game on ice. I now have 13-4.
5. Oh,
5?
13-4?
No, you're right. 5. There was one run scored. Austin scored one in the top of the inning.
You're at 21 right now. You're at 21 right now.
Bases, please.
Christian up to bat.
This looks like, and Boston's the home team, this is probably going to be our last inning.
Quick wind up. Smashing hit far out beyond third. Foul ball. Christian resetting up. Bat along the front of home plate while there's a ball toss between ump and pitcher, as there's no sound at all coming out of that. Another ball. That last one didn't make it very far. There's a little bit of a beep on that one.
You guys know there's a ball for it, right?
And they're not happy with that one either.
They're going to even be less happy when they run the clock out on themselves and this game ends after this inning, because that's what we're up against.
have 21 minutes, Dave. 20 minutes to start the inning.
All right, well, Jerry tells me we still have 20 minutes. That's cool. That means they're not counting those water breaks as game time.
They'll be there.
Well, that ain't right, because that one was a lot longer than 5 minutes.
Well, we started at 12:20.
Holding a new ball up.
Right now.
So they may start.
Apparently they're
inning.
good with that, so I'm going to be... See if Christian can get a dig on this one and keep it fair. Deep, strong. Whew, by Christian. It's going to be popping up right back.
Look at that, spring like a cat.
Coach Rob helping him set his feet back up. Another strong exhale. Quick wiggle of the shoulders. Hard hit, but it's going to be just as foul as the other one. Over past third. Coming back around to reset at home plate.
Renegades have been out there again forever this inning.
Those Blackhawks are poor.
Or the Blackhawks.
Yeah,
well, the Renegades have been up to
standing out there in the heat.
Blackhawks have been out there forever.
Christian has his batting gloves unvelcroed. Just catching on his wrists there.
Come on, Max.
Again, getting help from coach. Setting the feet placement. Traditional exhale. Oh, took a pass on that. The step forward on that. Almost took it. Did not.
They're in no hurry, as you can tell now.
Just getting a tick on that one.
And he's just fouling them off like crazy here. He's a great three-strike hitter, and he's liable to mash one here before it's all said and done.
Good solid hit. It's going to be right along the third base line. Darius sliding for it but missing. Mike Finn going for it, sliding across the ball, and he is going to be safe.
And that adds insult to injury to an Austin defense. Not only did the at-bat take forever because he was fouling pitches off, but then he goes and he hits one down the line and scores. It's a 9-run lead for Boston. The game and the inning continue.
With Sean Devonish.
More balls on field two, please.
We are running out of balls. We've had a call for new balls. And that, yeah, again, the Blackhawks are they're starting to slow down from that little bit of speed up. Although Darius did rush pretty quickly over there to slide for that, but he couldn't get to it in time to be in front of it.
And Jerry did tell me that the 5-minute water breaks, or however long they last, are counted toward the 2 hour and 15 minutes. I personally don't think that's fair, but I'm not the president. But that means that's even less time that we're going to have to start the next inning. I'm sketchy about this at this point. 1 or 2 more runs and
Just barely catching that, popping up foul. Hopefully Sean's not going to repeat what Christian did with so many fouls.
Dave, 14-13, Atlanta over the lookouts.
Another placement game score. Atlanta beats the Lookouts. Hey, there's your chaos, 14-13.
Yay, chaos.
Those teams have already been eliminated. Now they're playing for rankings at this point.
Little tight on the inside. It's going to be a strike.
So what that tells me there is Cleveland would play Atlanta then for 13th, and Minnesota would play Oklahoma for 15th. I believe that's how that works.
And that's going to be another strike.
Gotcha.
So after this round of games, there will be 8 teams still alive. And then after tonight's games, there will be 6 teams still alive. Of course, the 2 winners bracket teams, and then 4 in the elimination bracket. So we're really getting down to the nitty-gritty now here.
Getting a good pop-up in the center behind Darius, behind Drew. Mike Finn, it bounced
Oh,
over
look
his
out.
body as he was down, and that's going to be another run for the Renegades, just making this even more painful if possible.
Bad luck for Finn. He's trying to get the biggest part of his body on that ball to try to smother it. It just hopped over him, and now this thing's starting to get real out of hand here. 10-run game.
48 for 20.
We have another sub, Sanchez, in.
There we go again. Now Sanchez will come back in. This is the 3rd time he's been re-entered now.
At home plate, he was ready.
Let's see if Sanchez can get a run, man. I'm a Sanchez fan. I don't get to see a lot of him. Met him at the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown when we went there and represented the NBBA there back in, oh man, that must have been 2019, 18, something like that.
Okay, one box.
Okay, Rob giving him a few more instructions on location and placement. Scooting his stool back just a little as we wait for the up to verify with the scorekeeper, make sure that that substitution gets put in. Sanchez in for Rodriguez,
Minnesota and Oklahoma for 15.
while the Blackhawks stand out and bake some more.
So I want to go over really quickly just the placement games for tomorrow morning. 13th place again would be Atlanta and Cleveland. For 15th place, Minnesota and Oklahoma. SGV Panthers, who got their first win ever, will play the Braille Bandits for 17th, and the St. Louis Sirens will finish 19th. They'll get a bye, and they'll get the 19th place by default in their first year of competition. But they played their World Series to conclusion, and they showed that an all-female
Women's
team
team
can work in the NBBA. So I hope they're back next year. They'll be better. That's a developing team with several teenagers, and they've got some young folks that are just now learning to play, but who play in other sports and athletic disciplines. So they got potential, Rosina. Just got to be patient with the Sirens.
Just have to be patient. A little bit high over Sanchez's swing.
You know, we talk about that all the time. The Boston Renegades, I don't believe they won a game their first year, and maybe not even their second. They slowly, over a decade and a half, climbed up the standings, and now they're near the top every year.
It's going to go foul at the third base. Ed Manning kicking it with his feet, farther even foul, as he was running to make a play for that. Sanchez making his way back up to home plate. Ed trying to rush over to that, but it's a good thing that wasn't in play, because he would have kicked that completely out of ability. Ball coming back up to the pitcher's mound.
Looking to see who Rob Weissman is going to put in for Sanchez if we go to
I
another
believe that's
inning.
Kimball, I think.
Well,
on
he just
defense.
asked him if he was out there last inning, so he's going to have to. I think he's going to have to find somebody else.
just catching a tip of that as it drops down.
He's looking down his card like, who do I have left? He's got Elena Reagan, I guess, if she's available.
And swinging just a little early.
It's 3 strikes.
And he's still got one
Sanchez.
more. Thought he was done. He's got one more to go. Don't give it up too soon.
Sanchez lost count there, and he thought that the at-bat was over. It's not. He's good.
Don't quit until the fat lady sings. Good. Nice center pop-up. They're behind Drew.
Just came down.
Oh, Mike Finn trying to grab it. And he's going to be safe. He'd even missed the base and had to turn around and come back for that. But that missed Mariano. Mike Finn trying to recover it, but not in time.
That was ugly on both sides.
Very ugly on both sides.
That took a long time to develop both ways, but you know what? I got what I wanted. We got to see Sanchez. The Sanchez scores a run, and it's an 11-run game, and if they can get one from Shane Catton here, they're gonna be in the 12-run rule, and then I don't know why you would have any reason to take a water break and try to start another inning in that case.
Bases, please. Thank you.
Getting a base check there.
Every other team has completed their games. I believe we're the only game in town right now.
Well, I think we've had that before.
All right, here we go.
I think we were close to that on Tuesday by the time that Gateway Bayou City game was over with. That cut into, we missed happy hour.
All right.
A little bit low on that for Shane Canton. Good, solid hit right inside the third base line. Ed laying over there, but it went past his toes. Mike throwing his body on it, but he is going to be safe. Another run, 17-5.
There's
Renegades.
your 12-run rule at the end of this inning, and I'm going to look over now to see if Jerry gives us any indication. I think they should probably just call this.
He's going to have Drew Crook.
Well, because if the 5-minute water break counts, you're going to have about 2 minutes to start that inning.
As soon as the inning is over, that's when the next inning begins, whether the break starts or not.
Where is that in the rule book, Jerry? I'm going to get him in the
We have the
booth
umpire
here.
talking with pitcher and coach on the Boston Renegades side as we're trying to confer about the outs here.
Well, it's 2:28 now.
So that will be Elena Reagan that comes in.
So we will. All right, cool. We're going to see Elena Reagan get an at-bat here.
Regan, hit the ball and you're gonna score a run. Go, lady.
Nice little sound-off song.
The
from
Renegades in
Renegade.
105-degree heat are still having fun out there. I don't know that the Blackhawks are, though.
Elena Reagan.
71 for 47. Elena Regan, Drew Crook.
71 47.
Hey, Gina, whoever's got our book, come up. They're making a whole thing.
Oh, and
Got a
Austin's
whole
going to
set on
empty their
Austin.
bench here. This is going to eat up more time on the 2:15.
Go grab them.
So we have the Austin Blackhawks starting to take out the field here with a bunch of changes there.
You'd think they would do this during their water break, which is coming up at the end of one more out.
Offensive timeout after they're done, so they usually slow it down so they don't start moving.
So Davian Perez is headed out into left field, as well as, I believe, Sarai Hernandez. Looks like Andrew Burnett is coming out. Let's see, also 25, Pam Chesser going in.
Ivan, on deck. Ivan on deck.
I know that you want to try to get everybody in, but you know, you've gotten everybody in at least 1 or 2 games this week. So now,
Yeah, Ivan on deck.
yeah. Yeah,
See
they're
if
not
we
going to
can
start a
move.
new
It is
inning.
still
So
out there. Mariano is coming out.
all of these wholesale changes I'm kind of a little confused about because they're not going to start a new inning, so why do it?
And it looks like Jamie Simpson coming out to right field.
Go on, lady.
So we got Jamie out
Well,
short
this
on
ought to be
right.
their water break
Pam
now. They
Chesser.
sort of take their official water break now. I don't know. I'm being creative over here, Rosina.
Sarai Hernandez short on left field. Davian Perez in far left. We also have Bobby Lakey going in.
I expected to see more of Davion Perez, man. I was surprised we didn't see him at the outset of this game unless he was struggling or something. He's one of their better looking rookies.
So Reagan's still patiently waiting at home plate while this new roster defense, other than it looks like Ed Manning is still out there from the original crew out on defense for the Blackhawks, still over in second position out there left field. Second row there.
Well, this has caused a nice delay. I want to take the opportunity to recognize our stream team, our producer, Graham Mathena, and Live Events Production, Rosina and I, Jerry Wendell, League President, Cassie Hopkins, our Tournament Director, and our Public Relations Director is Richie Flores, who we will see later this evening playing for the Bayou City Heat.
Okay, Elena's up at the plate,
All right.
ready with an exhale. Bouncing on her feet. Oh, we got a time.
Somebody else stepped in.
All right, Elena up to bat. Just off of the bat.
I'm with you. Just move up the schedule. I'll mention it.
Getting it on the ground center. Sarai Hernandez come running up to block it with her feet. She's got the ball, and that is out.
There you go. Sarai puts out Elena Reagan, and mercifully, the bottom of the fourth comes to an end, but the Renegades snap. They put up 8 runs, I have, in the inning, invoked the 12-run rule at 17-5, and probably end this
A
game.
lot of chanting over there by the Boston Renegades. You see the Blackhawks lining
is
up like it
over.
is over. They're doing their congratulations lineup as they move them all into place. Boston's going to have to come out on the field to get their team to congratulate the Blackhawks. They spent an awful lot of time out there in the heat on defense. A little bit slow there at the start. Seemed like they picked up some speed, but I just don't think they had the effort to hold that long because things slowed back down for them on defense there, DB.
Well, the Austin Blackhawks are now headed for a placement game. The Boston Renegades are headed for a date under the lights with the Cinderella of the tournament, the Houston Hurricanes. It'll be Hurricanes and Renegades in one elimination game, and it will be the New Jersey Titans and Bayou City Heat in another. I can't tell you which game I'll be on. I don't know yet, but they will start at 8:30, 9 o'clock at the latest. We will keep y'all updated on any other scheduling changes and anything else going on, as despite the intense heat, we push deeper and deeper into the 2023 World Series of Beat Baseball. Your final score again: Boston Renegades survive and advance, knocking out the Austin Blackhawks 17-5. Rosina, it's been fun today. What a day. What a day for
It
beatball.
has been a day. Starting early and doing well. finishing off and having a night game. We'll catch y'all later.